Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and this is a quick unboxing and my initial impressions of the new Moto G6. So guys, this is the box. On the front we have a huge Motorola branding. For some reason they are bringing out the Motorola name a lot. Now at the bottom it just says Moto G6. Now on the sides we have some specifications and on the back we have a quick preview of how the phone looks along with some important features, which we'll come back to in a minute. Now at the bottom over here we have some IMEI number, some more specifications and pricing related information. Now without any further delays, let's get on with the unboxing. This phone is sold online exclusively on Amazon.in in two variants. Base variant is priced at 14,000 rupees for 3GB of RAM and 32GB of storage, and the next variant is priced at 16,000 rupees for 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. It's available only in one color, that's the Indigo Black. By the way, I have the 3GB RAM variant, which I think is the best value for money. So guys, now that the box is open, we have the phone at the front. Let me just put that aside. We'll come back to it later. Next we have this cardboard separator that says Hello Moto. Next we have the SIM card ejector, a readme guide, legal, safety and regulation, basically some documentation. Next we have some earbuds. Now these are the earbuds we get in the box with a flat cable, inline mic with a button to receive calls and some extra ear tips. Next we have a USB Type-C charging cable. Finally we have the turbocharged power adapter with a maximum output of 18 watts. Now let's come back to the phone. So this is the phone. It comes with a temporary screen guard on the front with a notch over here. It's not your regular screen guard, just a temporary one, so just peel it off as soon as possible. Now this is how the phone looks on the front and this is how the phone looks on the back. Definitely looks very premium. Now let's have a quick physical overview and then check out the specs. On the back it is a glass build with a curved glass just like the Moto X4 with a circular camera module with a significant bump. So you can see the bump over there. It houses a dual camera setup with a 12 megapixel primary camera and a 5 megapixel secondary camera with f1.8 aperture followed by dual tone dual LED flash. Following that is the Moto branding without a dimple, and at the bottom we have a microphone hole. On the front it has a 5.7-inch IPS display with Full HD Plus resolution in the new 18:9 aspect ratio. Moto calls it the Max Vision display. Yeah, right. Above the display we have the 16 megapixel front facing shooter with f2.2 aperture, earpiece, a front firing speaker and some sensors. At the bottom we have just the Motorola branding, fingerprint scanner and a small microphone hole, which definitely looks ugly. On the right side it has a textured power button along with a volume rocker, but once again they're not sufficiently elevated, but they have a nice clicky feel to it. I just wish it was a little more elevated. On the left side it is completely plain. At the bottom it has a 3.5mm audio jack and the USB Type-C port for data transfer and charging. Now at the top it has a microphone hole along with a SIM card tray. So guys, this is how the SIM card tray looks like. It houses 2 nano SIM slots along with a dedicated SD card slot. So even if you get a 3GB RAM variant of this phone, you don't have to worry about the storage. Now under the hood it sports a Snapdragon 450 processor with Adreno 505 GPU and a 3000 mAh battery. It has all the basic sensors including compass, gyroscope and even an NFC. Now with all this, it has a thickness of 8.3 mm and just weighs 167 grams. That's reasonably light. Now for some very quick initial impressions, for some reason this phone didn't get a free case while the Moto G6 Play got it. Now the glass back is definitely very smooth, it is slippery, but so far it is not attracting any fingerprints. It might be having some anti-fingerprint coating to it, which is a nice gesture. If this phone doesn't attract any fingerprints, I'll definitely use this phone without any case, even if it's a little hard to maintain it. Now let me turn on the phone and set it up and see what we get right out of the box. Now I'm gonna register my fingerprint. It is fairly fast, but the size of the fingerprint scanner is very small. Instead of that big Motorola branding, they should have gone with the regular fingerprint scanner from the Moto G5s Plus. Now it's asking us to install all these recommended applications, which I think is pretty stupid. Let me just skip it. Seriously, why should I install it? So guys, this is how the phone looks right out of the box. For some reason it has installed few applications like Uber Eats, Facebook. In a way it asked my permission, but I didn't know what I was doing until all these apps got installed. So anyway, pretty sneaky way to install third-party applications without the user permission. Kudos to Moto. Now if you go to settings, we can see the about page. So this phone is currently running Android 8.0.0 Oreo with April security patch. Now let me just turn on the developer options. So out of that 3 GB of RAM, we get about 1.4 GB of free RAM. This isn't very accurate, but we should be getting somewhere around 1.5 or 1.6 GB of free RAM. Now let's check out the storage. This is a 32 GB variant, and out of that 32 GB of storage, we get about 25 GB for our user apps and user data. So that's pretty decent, considering this phone has a dedicated SD card slot. Now let's check out the camera interface. So this is how it looks. We can swipe left or right to switch between the photo mode, video recording mode, and if you swipe right, we get the different modes. Now these are all the modes that are available. For photo we have split color, where we can select a specific color and the rest of the things will become black and white. Now this is the actual picture, and this is the split color, where it simply shows a single color. Just a fancy feature to play with. Next we have panorama, portrait mode for rear camera. Now this is how it looks. Once again, we might be able to use this toggle to change the blur effect. And as you can see, the preview window is lagging a little, so Motorola needs to fix that. Next, for video recording we have slow motion, time lapse and face filters. Now this is the front facing camera, and from initial impressions it looks decent, but now for extra modes we have group selfie, face filters, and that's all. For some reason we have slow motion even for the front facing camera, and let's see how it looks like. Now that's a small clip. Okay, that looks super weird. I don't know why you have to use a slow motion for the front camera unless you're trolling yourself. Anyway, we don't have portrait selfie mode, and portrait mode for the rear camera seems to be very slow. So that was the camera interface. Now let's check out the fingerprint scanner. Now I've locked the phone. It's fast. Guys, as you have seen, if I do a very slight tap, it isn't working. I have to slightly apply some pressure. So the fingerprint scanner on this phone is not super fast, but fast enough. Now this phone also seems to be having face unlock feature, which I forgot to show earlier. So let me just configure that. I'm pretty sure I've already done that, but let's see. So we have face unlock option over here. Redo face scan. Now let me just scan it without my glasses. So it was okay. It was not super fast or slow. Now let's see how it works. It is decently fast. Now I'm going to close my eyes and see if it will work or not. So if we close the eyes, face unlock doesn't work. So it needs to see your eyes. Now let me try with my glasses. It is slow, but it still works. So even with the glasses on, if it can't see my eyes, it will not unlock the phone. Now let's see how it performs in low light. So I've turned off all the lights. It is fast. That's surprising. Well, it is not super fast like the Oppo F7, Vivo V9 or the OnePlus 6, but it's sufficiently fast. I'm still wearing glasses, by the way. Now I'll remove my glasses and see again. So guys, in good lighting conditions, it works, it is fast, probably faster than the Redmi Note 5 Pro, but in low lighting conditions, it's mostly a hit or a miss. there's no consistency. Now there is another feature that I failed to show you, that's the Dolby Atmos. So we have a toggle over here. Now these are the settings for Dolby Atmos, and let me just show you how the speaker sounds. By the way, this phone has a speaker on the front near the earpiece, like some of the previous Moto phones. It is not very loud, but as it is on the front, it does sound pretty good. Now this is how it sounds. Now for the next thing, this phone has a fingerprint scanner on the front just like the previous Moto G5s Plus, and also comes with one key navigation. So let me just turn it on and show you how it works. So once you turn it on, you don't have the on-screen navigation buttons. Instead, we have to use gestures on the fingerprint scanner. You can touch it to go home, swipe left to go back, swipe right for recent apps, touch and hold to sleep, and when you touch and hold for longer, it will trigger Google Assistant. So there you go, that's Google Assistant. Now that's the one key navigation. Now this is the camera interface. I've already shown you that, but after updating the camera application on Google Play Store, a lot of things have changed. So we have the regular photo mode over here. We can swipe left for video recording, swipe left once again for portrait mode. We can change the blur effect over here. If you swipe left again, you get some additional modes. So the first one is a portrait mode. Next we have the cutout mode, which simply changes the background. Next we have a split color. Next we have text scanner, which simply scans the text on an image and then gives you the textual form of it. Finally we have face filters, which are nothing but, you guessed it, stickers, but a very poor implementation. We can use it for both the front and rear cameras. This is a very quick preview of using the stickers for the front facing camera. So as you can see, it is pretty bad. With the new update, we also got YouTube Live and this Google Lens over here. I've tried it on a few things and Google Lens simply didn't work. It's still in beta, give it some time. It might work in the future. Now these are some quick pictures I took. Let me know how they look. So guys, coming to my initial impressions, phone definitely looks very premium because of the glass body, dual camera setup, a very unique look. But considering the specs and the cameras and the camera interface that we have just seen, it doesn't look very promising. There are way better phones in this price segment, so I don't really see any reason to buy this phone over those phones. Even the latest Redmi Y2 launched today comes with a dual camera setup and the Snapdragon 625 processor, while the Moto G6, which is supposed to be the mid-range phone from Moto, comes with the Snapdragon 450 processor. That simply doesn't make any sense. So guys, on the whole, this phone is definitely good, but definitely not worth the price. What do you think about this phone? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It really helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.